what lifestyle design is for you?
For me, I just think lifestyle design is all about making the choices that, are for your life. It doesn't have to be everybody else's life. It's just where you can sit down and really decide what do you want out of your life? Do you want to open a bakery? Do you want to travel a lot? And it just allows you to really kind of pick down deep and figure out what it is you're looking to get out of life and what you're passionate about, what you enjoy doing. And more or less, you just kind of create a step-by-step plan that allows you to go out and make your dream life, something that's actually realistic and something that you can actually do. And it's just, I like the term, and I just think, it really is nothing more than creating a design for your life.
Okay, don't go anywhere. Hang on just one sec, and we'll be right back.
If you want to learn how Rob and Kim leverage technology to create the income, time, and freedom to regularly travel from one jet-set destination to the other using their proven system, you can claim your risk-free trial membership to Jet Set Money by going to getjetsetmoney.com. Here's Rob.
Now, do you use Tim Ferriss's actual Dreamline spreadsheet to map it out?
I do not use the actual spreadsheet at all.
So if I were to sort of ask you to give me a snapshot of what your personal lifestyle design looks like, sounds like you've got a change in your life coming up where you're getting ready to head out to Portland. What's that look like? Is it if you talk about, the things that you want to have, be, or do, obviously, one of those things to do is to live in Portland. Is there anything specifically that you go after when you make these moves?
Yeah, I mean, when I went to Hawaii, I did learn surfing, and that was something that I had always dreamed of doing, especially living in Wisconsin. You see people surfing, and you're just like, oh, that looks like fun. And I think the main reason why I decided on Portland is because when I lived in Phoenix, I really got into the whole backpacking, hiking, and outdoors type stuff. And after living in Florida now for about 9 months, and there's not a single, I don't think there's even a hill more than 100 feet tall.
Right.
I'm just really missing the mountains. And it just seems like, up there in the Pacific Northwest is just one of the great places where it's just wide open and you got a lot of land. You can just go backpack for days and get out and enjoy the outdoors.
So you talk about creating your lifestyle design plan around things that you're passionate about. Do you feel that most people don't include the passion part in their life? And if yes, then why do you think that is? Why is passion taken out of this equation so often with people that are just stuck in a cubicle?
Yeah, I definitely think people do overlook the passion part. They might consider it a little bit, but I think they tend to not focus enough on the passion part. And I think the real reason why people do that is because they'll go out and instead of, looking for things that they can do that they enjoy to, replace their job or replace their income, they just start looking for, how to make money, and they, you Google how to make money and stuff. And usually, all it brings up is all these, different techniques that people are trying to share and stuff on how to make money. And then instead of focusing so much on what you're passionate about, you're just trying to do things because they have the potential to make money. But what you kind of realize is that a lot of times if you're not passionate about something, it's so hard to keep going until you actually get somewhere, because it seems like the first obstacle you hit, if you're not really passionate about what you're doing, you just get really stuck, and then your motivation levels just sink. And so I think passion is something that you really have to have because it keeps you going even when you hit those rough spots, or when you wake up one morning and you're like, am I really doing this? Should I really be out looking for jobs instead? So I think, yeah, passion is just something that'll keep you, along your path, regardless if you hit a lot of road bumps, if it takes longer than you expected, and it just keeps you motivated to keep going.
When you talk about voluntary simplicity, what do you mean by that exactly?
I refer to that as it's basically when you decide that you want to live a simple life, and you want to just cut down, and you're choosing more or less to have less stuff. You're choosing to do less things. You're choosing to have less in exchange for having more time, more freedom to go out and do the things you enjoy.
So would you say that right now you're living like you're retired? In other words, if you were, let's say you move 30, 40 years into the future and how old are you now, by the way?
I'm 24.
All right. So you're 24. Let's say that you're 64 and you're getting ready to retire. Do you think that your retirement would look much different than your life does right now?
I don't think so. I think it would be, fairly similar.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there'd be a lot of changes, especially if I still enjoyed, doing what I'm doing. And as long as I'm still capable of doing that, which shouldn't be too hard considering most stuff's done on the computer these days. So
then the next question I would ask is, you've sort of been flirting around with different states within the United States, but do you have any plans on going abroad and living this lifestyle internationally?
I have thought about it, yeah, and I think it's something that I definitely want to look into sometime in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not exactly sure where yet, but definitely something that I want to get out and try.
Okay, so so many people say that you could never make an income online to do what you're doing, which frankly is the exact reason that we created getjetsetmoney.com, to show by interviews like this that there are people who are living this lifestyle. So if anybody is listening and wants to become a member, so that you can learn how to create the cash to create your own lifestyle design, just like Justin is, just go to getjetsetmoney.com. But Justin, if somebody says to you, I can't do this. I've got I got this job. Yes, I'm in a cubicle, but I don't see a way out, man. I mean, this is just, this is all I see. I just don't know what to do. I don't know how to do this. What would you tell them?
I would tell them, I think the best thing you can do is get started, trying different things while you still have your job, where you still have the security of, okay, you know where your bill money's coming from. And, if you have to go home after work at 5 o'clock and sit on the computer or read books from 5 till 2 in the morning to learn a different hobby or a different skill that you can apply to making money online, then that might be what it takes. That's kind of what I did, where I started building my business for, seems like almost a year while I was still in the cubicle. And, I just did it as soon as I got home. I did it in the mornings before work. And yeah, I worked, it seemed like 20 hours a day. But eventually when I hit that point where, okay, I can replace the income from my day job, I can finally quit, it just felt so liberating. So I think the most important thing is just to get started and don't focus so much on having to quit your job tomorrow, but focus more on, how can I start making an extra $10 a month online? And then how can I make, $50 online? And just kind of keep it going like that and just try different things on the side. And eventually you'll hit something that really works for you.
So I know that you put together a book. It's called Life After the Cubicle. Maybe you can sort of just describe what that book is and how people can actually get it.
Sure. Life After the Cubicle it's a guide that I created mostly because I get a lot of people that would fill up my contact form on my blog and they would say, hey, I really like your blog. I like what you're doing. How can I do more or less what you're doing? So I was like, it's time to put together a book, and kind of cover everything. So what my book covers is it covers everything that I did, up to the point where I quit my job. And then it covers all the different techniques that I've personally tried in terms of making money online. And then I kind of share a little bit on each of those and kind of show you how you can apply them to yourself, how you can do them yourself. And then I also cover some of the escape route is what I call it. And that's some of the things that I did, leading up to finally quitting my job. I was like evaluating my expenses and saving up a nest egg, in case things got slow for a little while. And I just cover the whole journey that I took so that, you can kind of follow along and do something similar with your own life.
Well, you know what? I cannot thank you enough for taking the time with us today. I know you've got a lot going on in your life, so I don't want to keep you on the line. But if anybody wants to get a hold of you or purchase your book, what's the best way that they can do it?
You can go to lifeafterthecubicle.com is where you can find my book. Otherwise, you can check out my blog at lifeofjustin.com.
Well, Justin, thank you so much.
No problem.
That's it for this episode of the Lifestyle Design Confessions podcast. Remember, if you want to get a jump start on creating the income to live your jet-set life using our proven system, you can claim your risk-free trial membership to Jet Set Money by going to getjetsetmoney.com. And remember, excuses are over. It's time to live.